Chosen one, listen carefully, because this is not a normal New Year message. This is not motivation, and this is not coincidence. This is confirmation. There is a reason you are still standing after everything 2025 threw at you. There is a reason you are still breathing, still hoping, still watching, still waiting. What tried to break you did not understand who was backing you. 2025 was not heavy because you were weak. It was heavy because you were carrying something valuable. Pressure does not come to empty vessels. Resistance does not rise against ordinary paths. You were targeted because of where you are going, not because of where you were. And even when it felt like life was shrinking, heaven was expanding your capacity. There were moments this year when you questioned yourself in silence. Not out loud, not in front of people, but deep inside where no one could hear. You asked why everything required so much effort, why simple things became complicated, why people changed, why doors closed without explanation, why you had to fight battles you never signed up for. Those questions were not ignored, they were allowed. Because endurance is not built in comfort. Endurance is forged when you keep going without answers. You were stripped of support on purpose, not to isolate you, but to show you where your strength actually comes from. Some people could not go with you because they were assigned to a previous version of you. Some connections ended because they were draining what 2026 needs to multiply. What felt like loss was actually alignment correcting itself. And yes, there were unfair moments. Moments where you did everything right and still lost. Moments where you stayed loyal and were misunderstood. Moments where you showed up and were overlooked. Those moments were painful because you have a clean heart. But heaven does not ignore injustice. Heaven records it. Every time you chose integrity over retaliation, something was stored. Every time you stayed quiet instead of reacting, something was reserved. Every time you walked away instead of proving a point, something shifted in your favor. You thought you were losing ground, but you were gaining authority. That is why the attacks were not random. That is why they came in waves. As soon as you recovered from one thing, another thing followed. It was designed to wear you down, not defeat you. Because the assignment was exhaustion, not destruction. The enemy knew if you stayed consistent, you would reach a level where certain doors open permanently. And you almost stopped believing at times. You almost accepted less than you deserved. You almost convinced yourself that this was just how life would be. But something inside you refused to settle. Even when you were tired, you did not give up completely. Even when you doubted, you still hoped quietly. That quiet hope mattered more than loud faith. You do not see it yet, but 2025 forced you to mature faster than you planned. You see people differently now, you listen differently, you move differently. You are not as reactive. You are not as available. You are not as explainable. That is growth. That is elevation beginning internally before it manifests externally. The reason you were misunderstood is because you were transitioning. And people often misinterpret transitions as instability, but heaven recognizes transition as preparation. There were nights you went to sleep heavy and woke up heavier. Not because things got worse, but because you were carrying unresolved weight. Expectations that did not come through, promises that were broken, prayers that felt unanswered. You learned how to function while disappointed, and that skill alone changed you. You learned how to keep your heart soft without being naive. You learned how to love without chasing. You learned how to wait without wasting time. Those lessons are rare, and rare lessons come with rare rewards. You may not realize this, but 2025 exposed who could not handle your future. Some people left because they could not keep up with who you are becoming. Some opportunities closed because they would have capped your growth. Some plans failed because they were too small for what is coming. It felt like rejection, but it was redirection. What hurt the most was not the struggle itself, but the silence, the lack of recognition, the feeling that no one saw how hard you were trying. But that silence trained you to stop seeking validation from places that cannot sustain you. And that shift alone protects your next level. Because where you are going, applause comes later. First comes responsibility. 2026 is not coming to apologize for 2025. It is coming to respond to it. It is coming with balance. It is coming with restoration. Not always loudly, not always instantly, but steadily and undeniably. And it will reward what survived, not what complained. You are stepping into a season where effort meets favor, where consistency meets opportunity, where patience meets payoff. And when it starts happening, it will feel sudden to others, but familiar to you, because you already paid for it in endurance. There will be moments in 2026 where you pause and realize how different things feel, how you are no longer fighting for basic respect, how certain doors open without force, how conversations shift, how people take you seriously without you trying. That is not luck. That is compensation. What tried to break you taught you boundaries. What tried to exhaust you taught you discipline. What tried to delay you taught you timing. Nothing was wasted. Do not rush into 2026 carrying old pain. Pain unprocessed becomes baggage, and baggage slows momentum. Release what disappointed you. Release what did not work. Release the version of you that kept trying to earn what should have been freely given. You are not entering a year of survival again. You are entering a year of response. Heaven responding to how you handled pressure, responding to how you stayed clean under fire, responding to how you did not become bitter even when you were hurt. And here is what you must remember as you move forward. You do not need to announce your growth. You do not need to convince anyone. You do not need to explain your process. The results will speak without effort. What 2025 tried to break did not break. It adapted, it strengthened, it learned. And now it qualifies. This is not the end of the story. This is the turning point. And as 2026 unfolds, you will understand why you had to endure what you could not escape. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. Stay discerning. What is coming is not fragile. It is earned, chosen one. As you step closer to 2026, there is something you must understand clearly, because misunderstanding this next season could cause you to mishandle it. What is coming is not just a blessing, it is a responsibility. You are not only being rewarded for surviving 2025, you are being trusted with what you learned from it. There is a difference between receiving favor and sustaining it. And 2025 trained you for sustainability. You learned restraint when reacting would have felt good. You learned silence when explaining would have felt easier. You learned patience when leaving would have felt justified. Those choices rewired you. They sharpened your discernment. They gave you control over yourself, and self-control always precedes promotion. That is why 2026 will require a different version of you than the one that entered 2025. You cannot take everyone with you. You cannot speak everything you know. You cannot move the way you used to. The season ahead will reward wisdom more than effort. There will be moments early in 2026 when things start to align quietly. Nothing dramatic, nothing loud, just subtle confirmations. A conversation that shifts direction. An opportunity that finds you without searching. A door that opens without resistance. And you may be tempted to question it because you are used to things being hard. But this time, ease is not a trap. It is permission. Do not self-sabotage what flows simply just because you had to struggle before. Some of the biggest breakthroughs will come disguised as normal days. You will almost miss them if you are not present. That is why peace will be your greatest indicator. When something is meant for you in 2026, it will not drain you the way 2025 did. It will still require effort, but it will not steal your identity. It will not cost you your values. It will not confuse your spirit. Pay attention to what brings clarity instead of chaos. You may notice that certain people from your past reappear with different energy. Not because they changed, but because you did. Your boundaries will expose intentions. Your calm will unsettle those who benefited from your anxiety. And your growth will silently answer questions you never explained. Do not feel obligated to reconnect with what you outgrew. Familiarity is not assignment. 2026 will also confront you with moments where you are asked to trust again. Not recklessly, not blindly, but wisely. The walls you built in 2025 kept you safe, but they were never meant to be permanent. Healing does not mean becoming unguarded. It means becoming discerning. You will know when it is safe because peace will accompany the decision. You are not going to be naive again. You are going to be intentional. There will be times when you reflect on 2025 and feel proud of yourself in ways you didn't expect. Proud that you didn't become cruel. Proud that you didn't compromise. Proud that you didn't lose your faith even when answers were delayed. That pride is not arrogance. It is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement allows closure. And closure is important because unfinished emotional business can interfere with new beginnings. Do not carry guilt for choices you made in survival mode. You did the best you could with what you knew then. 2026 is not asking you to regret the past. It is asking you to release it. Release the version of you that was constantly bracing for impact. You no longer need to live on edge. Not every step forward will be followed by loss. Not every good moment will be temporary. Stability is not boring, it is healing. One of the most powerful shifts you will experience is this: you will stop needing reassurance. You will trust your judgment again. The second guessing that haunted you in 2025 will fade as confidence rebuilds quietly. Not loud confidence, grounded confidence. And grounded confidence attracts the right people, the right environments, the right timing. You may find yourself stepping into roles you once felt unqualified for, speaking with authority where you once stayed silent, declining what once tempted you, choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term relief. Those decisions are evidence that the breaking did not damage you, it refined you. Remember, this reward does not always look like abundance at first. Sometimes reward looks like clarity. Sometimes it looks like peace. Sometimes it looks like knowing when to walk away without guilt. Those are the foundations upon which lasting success is built. There will be moments when you are tested again, but the tests will feel different. They will not feel like attacks. They will feel like invitations to respond differently. And you will. Because you are not the same person who entered the fire. The fire changed you, but it did not consume you. 2026 will also teach you the value of timing. You will realize that some things did not happen sooner because you would have mishandled them. You would have overextended. You would have trusted too easily. You would have stayed too long. Delay was protection. Silence was guidance. Waiting was wisdom in disguise. And now, when movement begins, it will be deliberate, strategic, aligned. Do not rush to prove that you are healed. Healing speaks for itself. Do not rush to show that you are successful. Stability will be visible. Do not rush to announce your plans. Execution will introduce them better than words ever could. Let your life speak softly but clearly. There is also something important to remember as your season shifts. Gratitude keeps doors open. Not gratitude that ignores pain, but gratitude that recognizes growth. You survived something that could have hardened you. Instead, it deepened you. That depth will become your advantage. People will feel safe around you. Opportunities will trust you. Responsibility will find you. Because you carry wisdom that cannot be taught quickly, you will notice that the chaos you once tolerated now feels unacceptable. That is not arrogance, that is alignment. You have learned the cost of peace, and you are no longer willing to negotiate it. Protect that. As 2026 unfolds, do not be surprised if the reward comes in stages. Not everything at once. Not all answers immediately, but consistently enough to remind you that you are on the right path. Small wins will build into larger ones. Quiet progress will turn into visible momentum. Trust the process without demanding proof every step of the way. And when doubt tries to whisper that it was all coincidence, remember, this coincidence does not teach lessons this precise. Coincidence does not shape character this intentionally. Coincidence does not prepare people this thoroughly. You were trained. What tried to break you revealed what you are capable of carrying. What tried to exhaust you revealed your endurance. What tried to discourage you revealed your discipline. And now, what comes to reward you will require all of that maturity. Walk into 2026 with humility, confidence, and discernment. Do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not overextend to be accepted. Do not settle because you are tired of waiting. You waited for a reason. The season ahead is not about proving anything, it is about stewarding what you earned. And if you remain grounded, grateful, and intentional, you will look back and realize that the breaking was never meant to end you. It was meant to prepare you for what you are now ready to hold.